Today's title of our lesson is The Resurrection and the Life. And the lesson text comes from St. John chapter 11, verses 17 through 27, and the related scriptures, Daniel 12, 1 through 3, John 11, 1 through 16, and verses 28 through 45. And 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 20 through 26, and Philippians 26, and Philippians 3, verses 7 through 14. And the golden text says, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And that comes from John 11, 25. So let us stand and we'll read together St. John chapter 11, starting at verse 17 responsively. Then when Jesus came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then said Martha unto Jesus, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. Jesus said unto her, Thy brother shall rise again. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Together, she saith unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, the Son of God, which shall come into the world. Let the church say amen. Isn't God a good God? And our lesson for today is we will begin the lesson. You know, I guess that's why the word says, you'll always be ready. Hallelujah. I know pastor's on his way, but this was a short notice for all of us, but we thank God for Minister Hester that will be coming up. Today's aim is facts to relate the events leading up to the raising of Lazarus from the dead. The principle is to present Jesus as our resurrection and life. And the application is to teach that if we believe in Jesus, we will experience the resurrection and the life to come with him. Let the church say amen right on that. Amen. If we believe in Jesus, we have hope. Say, we got hope. If you go to sleep, and that's all it is sleep. If you go to sleep, you're going to wake up and with Jesus, so that's all that matters. Amen. Introducing the lesson, someone rising from the dead is not an everyday event. Even though it happened several times in the Bible, it was still rare and always caught people by surprise. Jesus, however, shows us that through the raising of Lazarus from the dead, that new life comes from believing in him. For he is the resurrection and the life for us. Have you ever thought about it? If Jesus had not risen from the dead and you died, we would be lost. So we're thankful that Jesus died. It was important that Jesus died in order for us to be raised again. Just thinking about Jesus and all that he did for us and going to the cross and suffering and dying for us and rising again. That's an awesome thing right there. So we're thankful that Jesus did that. And people really don't give the things like they should, but to God be the glory. Let's give Pastor a hand as he comes forth, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Let church say amen. But good morning to each of you. We pray for the Hesters as they're en route travel. It's good to see you, Minister Hardy, this morning. Amen. With your companion there, Sister Arlene. Amen. God bless you, Sister Arlene. Yeah. Minister Gaines and Sister Gaines, God bless you. Good to see you this morning. Sister Hazel, good morning too. All right. How far did you guys, read the scripture? Good. Now, we know that our subject is dealing specifically. I'm just trying to pitch it for a moment with the resurrection and the life. And what I think the best thing to do is to go back to the text and just kind of expound upon each text and give us some insight. First of all, this is a great, great miracle that God is getting ready to perform. He's getting ready to perform a miracle where the recipient of this miracle has been dead for 4 days. And there's something about decomposition. If you ever run across an animal or something across the highway or a squirrel, anything, something possibly have died, then you will realize that particular animal has a smell. And death has a distinct smell, doesn't it? Yes. I mean, it's an awful smell. I mean, the blowflies come and all kinds of stuff. See, they didn't have all this fancy technical support that we had. They simply, basically would wrap the body with herbs and spices and things of that nature. It seems as though Jesus allowed, on purpose, he received the message about Lazarus being what? Sick. He whom you love is what? Sick. But he still tarried to what? Right, so when you get the 2-day journey going and 2-day journey coming back, you get 4 days. So he tarried those extra 2 days. So a lot of times, sometimes we want Jesus. Don't you see my situation? Jesus, aren't you aware of what's going on? Why don't you hurry up and fix this mess? But he delayed on path. And matter of fact, he told the disciples, he said, listen, I am happy for your sake. First of all, he told them that Lazarus sleepeth. Y'all read that for? Yeah, Lazarus sleeping. And they said, Lord, if he's sleeping, he's doing good. Jesus said, let me plainly tell him, Lazarus is what? Dead. He is absolutely dead. He has ceased to reside on this side of eternity. The man is dead. And many of us spend a lot of our time fighting that thing called, trying to stay away from that thing called death. We do everything we can to try to prolong this thing called life. Vitamins, exercise, doctor visits, make sure everything is lab tests. Amen. Trying to sustain what we call what? Life. And if I could see this, you can say this from this perspective, that the greatest gift that we have, that God gives us, think about it, is life, isn't it? We had the opportunity. I can reach out and grab Sister Arlene and fist bump Minister Hardy. Amen. I can laugh and giggle with Minister Gaines and Sister Gaines. That's an experience that I couldn't experience unless I had a body. Amen. But it's life. Jesus said, a man's life does not consist of the things he what? Possess. It's not about stuff. It's not about things. It's about this moment that we're experiencing right now. And there's a part of us. There's a part of us. Jesus, and Minister Hester, you hit it. You bring it out now. There's a part of us that continues to live even when this thing stops. Amen. Isn't that awesome? There's a part of us we just step out. And my Lord, they said we are more alive then than ever before. Because to be absent from the body, to be what? Present with the Lord. My God. I am so wonderful. And we are so immortal to the point where we cannot be killed. Y'all believe that? Now, when I speak of the part I'm speaking of is your spirit. That's right. You with me? You cannot be killed. So when this thing all winds down and winds up, you're going to either be with Christ forever, or there's something prepared for the devil. It's called a lake of what? Lake of fire, where God will cast death and hell, all that into Hades. Amen. Into the lake of fire. So, but you will live forever. I got to stop right there. Somebody shout forever. And then after that, how long? Forever. Then after that, you better get used to me. If I aggravate you now, isn't that wonderful? And so Jesus said, oh, this thing is so powerful. He said, he says in the book here, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he what? This is it. And you know the good news, folk? The good news, if our loved ones have accepted Christ, and our family, our mama, our papa, our sisters, our brothers, you talking about a family reunion. Yes, you talking about a get together. Let me get out the way. Come on. Go ahead, Minister. Let me get out the way. Come on, come on, come on.
You could have kept on, Pastor. So I see that you guys have went through, I guess, the first part of the lesson. I kind of like Pastor's style when he talked about the how we will live forever. But there's a point where I love in the story where Martha kind of confronts Jesus, and she said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would have lived. His presence showing up did not relieve the situation, but it confirmed her faith in him. Have you ever been put in a situation where all hope seems to be lost? Everybody else has given up, and you standing there by yourself. This is the situation which Mary and Martha was in. The disciples was not around. Word had went out. And Jesus, whom they loved and whom he loved, was not there. But when he showed up, it seemed like the question that Martha asked him seems to, where were you? If we can be honest about it, where were you? I know that message got to you because you showed up. And Jesus said, well, you know that your brother will live again. And I just love that right there. I love that. The deity itself, himself, the very thing that Martha was standing on, she was speaking to. The very thing that she believed in, she was looking at. How awesome is that? For a God who knows all our infirmities, knows all our weaknesses, shows up when we call him. I said, oh my goodness. The thing about that I feel that Jesus was trying to get across to the disciples, his disciples, and to Mary was that, yeah, you got head knowledge, but I need to give you spiritual knowledge. Mary said, I know at the last day my brother will rise again. But what you're looking at is the source of all life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All life. I have the power to end life, to give life, to sustain life. But I love her response. You and your father is so close. You and your father is so close that he is so pleased with you. Even now, even though he's dead, I know even if you ask your father, I know he'll give you your request. It showed that Martha never lost faith. But what it was, the pain of losing a loved one sometimes twists us and turns us into positions that we just don't like. And I said, oh my goodness. And I love the aspect of how Jesus embraced her. I love the aspect of how Jesus embraced him. He first cleared her head knowledge. He first cleared the problem of how she was thinking. Romans 8. Romans 12:1. Brothers, I beseech you, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is a reasonable service. The next passage goes on about this mind. Jesus had to change the mindset. And that's what we do every Sunday when we come here. Trying to change the mindset of man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That you have an eternal God at your beck and call. I said, oh my goodness. And Jesus said unto her, thy brother shall live. And Martha said, I know that he will rise again at the resurrection at the last day. And this is really the story right here. And Jesus said unto him, I am. You know what's so ironic about this story is that it never gives a name of the illness that Lazarus died from. And I said, there's something to that right there. And I asked my wife about it. It could have been cancer. It could have been a snake bite. It could have been any type of illness. But I am shows up.
Yes, sir.
Even for us, whatever takes us out, we got an I am that shows up. A few days ago, my brother here experienced that. His father passed. But guess what? I am still shows up. Until we change our mindset, we can't apply the principles of the deity. And Jesus said, I am the resurrection and the life. And when Pastor was up here earlier, he talked about you either going to spend eternity either with God or either somewhere else. In the book of Revelation, it talks about the lake of fire. And I used to think that, how in the world that you going to live forever, and how in the world you going to burn forever? The fire that never quenches. That ought to scare the out of some people. But the mind has not come to terms with what Jesus has pronounced. Whether you know it or not, it's a promise. We don't look at it that way. Some people don't look at it that way, but that's a promise from God. Either you believe in me, and that's the whole gist of this. Either you believe in Jesus or you don't. Case closed. Your answer will only come through Jesus.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeshua,
yes, sir.
the Almighty. I used to wonder why God said, I am. If I can say it like I feel it, is that I am is everything. No matter what we go through, I am is there. They went through death. They experienced death. But until we accept God for his word and his promises, we're all dead. We're all dead. Paul talks about it. When he said, when he talked to the Thessalonican, he said, brother, I would not have you ignorant. So where was Paul going with it? Concerning those who are asleep. We don't sorrow like those who have no hope. So Paul addressed it too to the church. It's about either you accept him for who he really is or you don't. And I'm going to end it right there. I'm going to end it right there. The resurrection is all about Jesus. A lot of people think that the resurrection is an event. But it's about Jesus. He said, I am the resurrection. It's not like Pentecost, where they all came and tried to celebrate and tried to honor and tried to do religious events. Jesus said, I am the resurrection. No holiday, no special event. I am. I understand that word, I am now. I am the source of all life that exists. Shape him, mold him, and guess what else? Blew the breath of life into him.
My God. My God.
I am. We need to have the Martha and Mary kind of faith. When everybody else doubted, when the situation looks bleak. I used to hear Sister Reed say, something happened to my husband. I'll get right there. And I used to think that she looked. I used to think she was out there. But to me, it was revealed to me that guess what? That's Martha's faith. Everybody else looking at her like she's crazy. Everybody else looking at Mary like she's crazy. You know how we do when we show up at everybody's house. Ain't no food here. Who bring the food? Where the public chicken at? They were all there. But only two still had faith in Jesus. Only two still had faith in Jesus. So sis, I applaud and I agree with you. We say these things in church talking about Jesus said I can do greater. That's only if your mind has changed.
Yes, sir.
That's only if you believe in I am. If he did it then, he can still do it now. He's the same God then as he is now. So it lets us know that guess what? There's a whole different mindset of what Jesus is calling us to. But see, we live in three different stages. We live in three different stages that I see. We live in the latter. That means the past. We're always bringing up the past. We live in the wanna-be future. We do. I'm gonna get me a car. I'm gonna get me a house. I can get this right here. And very few live in the now. Very few live in the now. No matter what comes right now, I'm going to trust God. I'm going to trust God. I am the resurrection and the life. he that believes in me, yet though he die, shall live again. You know something? I'm going to take my seat, but you know what I find ironic? Is how can you say that you'll live forever? The only way you can say that is that you made your Lord and Savior. That's the only way. Even after you dead, we as Christians, or we as disciples, ought to have an effect on people that, guess what? It ought to affect them even after you left here. Even after you die. What you do, your works, ought to still speak for you.